Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Vyasa Śaṅkara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Which came first? Did karma come first? Or karma phala and therefore the necessity for a sharira come first? Did sharira come first, which created the karma, which then created the karma phala and became another sharira, became the hetu for another sharira? Or did karma come first, which created karma phala, which created the need for a body? We cannot answer this question. It is cyclical. Nothing cyclical can be answered, saying which came first. So we have these famous sayings, no? Did the same seed come first or the tree come first? The same system here. It is cyclical. It is called anadi. Because one of the questions many times that comes up when you talk about karma is, why was the Jagat created? When was it created? At the end of each kalpa, the entire Jagat becomes unmanifest in that Satyam, including space and time. Shastra says, and the next kalpa starts, everything is remanifested. So whatever karma one has done, that karma is also remembered. There's very good software which keeps memory of all that. So every jiva reappears with the bank of karma. We saw yesterday, karma itself has two types of karma phala, drishta karma phala and adrishta phala. Drishta phala is easy to understand. Adrishta phala is less easy because we cannot see a direct connection between what one is going through as a phala and which act created this, which karma created this. That there cannot be an effect without a cause, we understand. That is logic. That everything that I am going through today is a result of something that has been done before. This is the law of karma. In fact, another word we've seen for karma phala is satyam. It is infallible. What happens today is the result of what was done earlier. This law of karma we have to understand. And that law of karma is also a little bit complex because I don't know which karma relates to which karma phala. We can take help from Shastra. It tells us if this karma is done, this phala will result. When will the phala result? You cannot say. Will it result? It is generally not immediately. Immediately what you see is the drishta phala. It is usually sometime in the future. So you don't know when. Instinctively, every human being understands this, that if I do something, there will be a phala. The law may not catch me if I do something wrong against the society. But the law of karma is infallible. I may bribe the policeman to not arrest me. The law of karma is, it just grinds and grinds and grinds, nothing can stop it. But you cannot say when will the result come. Something like our Indian judiciary system, no? Somebody's got a allegation against him, goes to the court, you never know when the result will come. It might come 2 years, it might come in 20 years, it may never come. When will it come? It may come in this janma. It may come in other janmas. Sometime in the future. We said only human beings create new karma. Animals don't create new karma. Other forms like devas don't create new karma. They take form as animals or devas to exhaust whatever karma has been allocated for that janma, and that karma phala has to be gone through. This principle that we generate karma and we have an infinitely large number of karma waiting in our bank. But Swami G, I've only done karma this janma. No, you probably had millions of janma before this, many of them as humans. Many perhaps as something else. And this bank of karma that stands in the account of every jiva is called sanchita karma. It is there in the account of every jiva. Whether the jiva in this lifetime is a manushya jiva or a frog. Then what decides what kind of sthula sharira and therefore the corresponding sukshma sharira does one get? It depends entirely on what portion of that infinitely large sanchita karma for every jiva has been allocated to this janma. If only predominantly papa karma has been allocated for this, then one tends to take a janma as an animal or a tree. And whatever papa karma has been allocated and therefore the phala has to be gone through is exhausted during the lifetime. That animal does not create any new karma. Oh, what a happy situation. I will exhaust the karma, I have no karma left. No, you have a whole bank of sanchita karma. Enormous amount of sanchita karma is still there. So when the animal finishes the janma, either in pain or in comfort, I see a lot of stray dogs here. And some of them have been hurt. Probably nothing can be done. So the dog limps. still has to find food and eat, still has to find a place to find some comfortable position. I like to think of this, even animal janma, as a whole range of papa karma. One might take janma as a frog. In some parts of the world, frogs are worshipped. So they get all the comforts if you're born there. If on the other hand, you happen to be born in China, God help you. Or worse still, in France, where frog's leg is considered a delicacy. So there's a whole range. You see dogs. There are dogs which are pet dogs. Sometimes even stray dogs people take as pets. Sometimes pedigreed dogs. They have all the comforts that they can ask for, but limited freedom. Other dogs, the stray, which have a much tougher life, but they also get toughened. And they have much greater freedom. So a whole range of phala. Similarly, I assume there will be similar range when you look at devatas. There's a gradation there, where punya phalas are exhausted. Predominantly, punya phala results in that kind of sharira. And some other jivas take janma as manushya. Very peculiar janma. This is the only janma, only form in which questions about what is the real purpose of life are raised by some. And only when those kind of questions are raised is there a possibility of getting out of the cycle of karma, karma phala sharira, karma, karma phala sharira, karma, karma phala sharira. Unending cycle without a beginning. Because on questions, and if one has sufficient bank of punya and one does the right things, one exposes them to the pramana, the knowledge is gained. Hey, this is all like a dream. That knowledge, when it is firmed up, releases one from this mithya cycle or samsara cycle. Sometimes called the ocean of samsara, from which to get out, the only thing is to know that there is no ocean. Otherwise, one is always struggling. But this Manushya Janma has two very peculiar qualities. One is, like I said, this Manushya Janma can create more karma. What happens when somebody creates karma? That karma either gets a karma phala immediately, within the janma, In which case one would assume that the karma gets clubbed with prarabdha karma. Because prarabdha karma is what is going to be exhausted in this janma. When you go to an astrologer who studies your birth chart is a reflection of your prarabdha karma. He can generally tell you that this will be the situation like this. But if you go back to him after 3 years, he might say slightly different things. Because you've done more karma in the interim, some of which gets added to your prarabdha. Either negates some of the karma phala that is negative, reduces, let's say. or increases them. Because this karma that you've done called agami karma gets added, some of it gets added to the prarabdha. What about the rest? That also has karma phala. That karma phala gets added to your sanchita karma. So this bank of sanchita karma has some more addition. So you now have, out of the sanchita karma, something is allocated for a particular janma, and that is called prarabdha karma. This division of karma and its corresponding karma phala, that law, if one understands, a lot of things become clear. Otherwise, what happens? We look at somebody, you look, all his life, as long as I've known him, he's done only papa karma. But he has so much more money than I have. I've done no papa karma. I have done minimal papa karma. And I can't explain it. Only when you understand the law of karma does it become easy to understand. This is what differentiates children born in the same place at the same time, more or less on the same day, let us say. There's such a variety. Some are born into comfort with a silver spoon in the mouth. Some don't even have wooden spoon. Some have excellent physical health, some don't. Some have all kinds of other problems, physical and mental. All these variations, what's the logic? Is it random? It cannot be random. Nothing on this cosmos that we know is random. Even what looks like random, detailed study shows not random. All cause and effect. Similarly, a person has done a lot of karma, let's say a lot of punya karma. Throughout his life, he's done only good things, helped others, built places of worship, built chowdhuries to give annadhanam. Even a lot of annadhanam. Through his life, he's done that. Never even thought ill about anybody. And another person we know has been doing all kind of karma. Both die around the same time. The physical body goes. What happens to all this punya karma? What happens to all this papa karma? Unless we accept that this janma is not the beginning and the end of everything. This janma is only one in a whole cycle of perhaps millions of janma. Then one can easily understand that whatever we've done is going to be reflected elsewhere. Prarabdha karma, agami karma, and sanchita karma. In all these three, we have punya karma and papa karma. In prarabdha karma, like I said, if a certain portion is chosen for exhaustion in a particular janma, that could be predominantly papa karma, or that could be predominantly punya karma, or that could also be a mixture, a mishra karma. Every human being falls in that mishra karma category. Therefore, the karma phala will also be different. Why are people in Iceland struggling under very harsh conditions. They get used to it over time, but they live under very, very harsh conditions. And others live in a very comfortable situation. Somebody asked me, born in Brunei, there is no chance of getting moksha in the Janma. Or only very small chance, unless you accidentally happen to come across this knowledge and then put your effort to find out. But you live in a state, a city state, where you have to do no work. There are no taxes. You get everything for you. If you're a citizen, you get everything yourself. One kind of punya, minimal effort. But the punya that is required for you to be released from this is a different kind of punya. So even punya phala, there are a lot of varieties. We studied in the 6th chapter of the Gita. The karma done in this janma towards this mokṣā purushartha, even if the person does not gain moksha, does not go waste. It is reflected in how and where a person is born. Dhimatam kule, a family which provides conditions conducive for one to carry on the journey. That's sadhana. How do we break out of this? What is it that creates a situation where I am not stuck in this eternal cycle? We've seen up to this point, starting with Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. There's an effort that I make to read and study the Veda, what the Veda says, and follow the karma as given in Veda. We've seen the steps coming more or less towards the end. We saw that it tends to happen automatically. All these verbs given in every pada, I said, is a passive voice. May this be done. May this happen. So up to that point, one could read it as, may this be done by one. But when it comes to the last stages, when one has already gone through nididhyasanam, and there's effort that has gone in all this while, has brought one to that, the sadhaka to that state. It can be read as saying, may this be done, not necessarily by one. It becomes automatic. Prakarma pravilapyatam. Prakarma, previously done karma, which has been allocated, which has been standing in your account. All the previously done karmas, all of them may they not cling to you. May they dissolve. May they disappear. So, the portion of the karma which we call sanchita karma That karma which is standing in the account of every being, every jiva, which information, the data is carried by the jiva, janma after janma after janma after janma, completely dissolves. May it completely dissolve. Now look at agami karma. The prak karma, the sanchita karma has been dissolved. How? By jnanam only. Say, chiti bhalat na pyuttarai shlishyatam. Chiti bhalat applies to both. Chiti bhalat is by the power of knowledge, by the force, by the shakti of knowledge. May this sanchita karma get erased. May the agami karma that is done by the jnani not stick to him. Jnani also will do agami karma. He is a human being. He will do karma, punya karma and papa karma. But jnani will really do no papa karma knowingly. But he could become accessory to the fact. Jnani is a sannyasi, let us say, and continues to do what the sannyasi does. Good work because of prarabdha, some good work he does. Maybe he does teaching, maybe he does something else. And people come and give dakshina. Now he doesn't inquire closely into the source of the dakshina money. And if the dakshina money has been earned through papa, he becomes accessory to the fact, unknowingly. Or he also walks, and he knows that when he walks, there are many janmas he's stepping on and finishing their lives. Nothing he can do about it. In fact, all sannyasis were called parivrajika sannyasis. There are two types of sannyasis. One is called parivrajika sannyasi, who will not stay for more than 3 days in any place. They will keep walking. They will go sit somewhere. Again, not very easy to do in this current day situation. But they would walk from village to village, sit under a tree somewhere, and help whoever comes to them. Some people will come to him saying, asking for knowledge. Some people will come to help them understand why some things are happening to him or to other people, which creates confusion in his mind, disturbance in his mind. Help that. Some villagers will give bhiksha. So pratidinam bhikshaushadam bhujyatam. And after 3 days, it will walk off. He will not develop roots anywhere. Such a sannyasi has something called chaturmasya. Certain period of the year, he will not go walking. He will just sit in one place. That is usually the rainy season. One might say he doesn't want to go because he doesn't want to get wet. But a sannyasi doesn't care one way or the other. But that is the time when all the insects and things come out. And the chances of additional papa karma increase. Therefore, he will not walk in that period. He will settle down in one place, usually a 2-month period during the rains. And do whatever pravachanam he has to do. So they are very careful in that also, to try and minimize the kind of papa karma that might happen. Another type of sannyasi just stays in one place somewhere. Again, if you look at the olden days thing, he probably go and settle down in some cave somewhere. In many temples, old temples, I've seen these little cave-like structures. And I'm told that sannyasis will go and sit there and do nothing. Swamiji used to make a joke of it. They are like pythons, ajagar. Python just keeps sitting in one place quietly, waiting for the prey to come. And prak, gone. Not that the sannyasi is waiting for any prey. Sannyasi is not waiting for anything. But like that, he just keeps quiet sitting in one place. So when Swamiji created so many sannyasis, teachers, he said to all of us, you should be accessible to people. I would like a sannyasi in every 5-kilometer radius, accessible to people who want to understand, who want to know, who might come and say, Shishasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Teach them. Or others may come in distress, mental disturbance, other kinds of distress. Help them as far as you can. But be accessible and be available. That is another type of sannyasi. But typically, a sannyasi will not do either type, will not do it knowingly any papa karma. Or at least as minimal as you can get. And yet there is karma being done. Jnana dhanam is a big karma. There will be phala. This phala, this karma that the sannyasi does, the jnani does, after jivan mukta, this agami karma that he has, like I said, prior to jnanam arising, agami karma might get distributed in prarabdha or in sanchita. But what happens to the agami karma done after jnanam? Chiti balat napyuttarai shlishyatam. Na api uttaraihi shlishyatam. Uttaraihi is the other one, agami karma. May that not stick. So whether it is the sanchita karma or the agami karma, for a jnani, it doesn't stick. Sanchita karma simply dissolves. Agami karma will have phala. Where does that go? It is said that people who do namaskaram to a jnani, this punya karma phala goes to them. Because a jnani has no kartritvam. Therefore, no bhoktritvam can happen. And people who do ninda, whatever little papa karma he might do, that phala goes to this. So, prakarma praviliyatam chiti bhalat napyuttarai shlishyatam. Chiti bhalat, by knowledge, both these will go. It will burn, it will disappear. Yanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Like the fuel burns everything out. Jnanam burns all the karma. So of the three, the jnanis, sanchita karma is gone. Agami karma is also gone. But the body continues. Just because a person has become a jnani as a jivan mukta, the body doesn't fall, nor does the jagat disappear. So what happens? Like I said, this is all automatic. The person has gone through all this, has gained jivan mukta, jivan mukti. He is already jivan mukta. Agami is gone, sanchita is gone, but body remains. Sthula sharira remains, sukshma sharira remains, karana sharira remains. Actually, karana sharira does not remain. Karana sharira goes. Karana sharira is ajnanam. Atma jnanam. But sthula sharira, sukshma sharira remain. And they have to go through whatever is left of the prarabdha karma. Sanchita karma is still in the karma form. Agami karma is karma, but karma phala is there. Karma phala goes to other people. Prarabdha karma has already been issued to this jiva. The jiva has to exhaust it. I told you this is also called satyam. Karma phala is satyam. Because the karma phala has to be gone through. Prarabdham tviha bhujyatam. That prarabdha karma has to be gone through. Whether a person is a jnani, a jnanam aspirant, or an ajnani, prarabdha karma has to be gone through. Here, iha bhujyata. Prarabdha tu, however, unlike sanchita karma and agami karma, here, iha bhujyata. In this janma has to be exhausted. So that answers the question, saying, why does a jnani also have to suffer? Swami G went through, in his later part of his life, got a lot of physical pain. He didn't give much heed to it, but he did go through. The body has to go through that pain. Mind also has to go through that pain. I was with Swami G when once a person used to be a cook in the Anikati ashram for many years and very close to Swami G. He came to see Swami Ji, and a message came that two of his grown sons who started doing well in life, started their own small business of some kind. I think they were making labels, if I remember right. Had gone somewhere to deliver some products, and driving back from there, it had got dark, they were tired, so decided not to risk driving. So both were sleepy and tired. So they parked the car under a tree and went to sleep. A passing truck lost control, crashed into the car, and both died. And this message came to Swamiji when he was right there. There is emotional pain. There's pain in the mind, there's pain in the body. But a jnani takes it in its stride because he doesn't relate to that directly. He's already said that the abhimana with the deha is gone. So he is able to see from a different perspective that my body is in pain, that the mind is troubled. Not as much as somebody else, but it is troubled. What is trouble? Suppose one of his shishyas, because the only relationship a sannyasi has is a guru-shishya relationship. All of the relationships are washed out. When he hears that the shishya is doing extremely well, people recognize that shishya. People flock to hear him. And many people come back feeling, I've been so lucky. I've had so much punya to be able to go to this person. And the message comes to the guru. You will also feel happy. But again, a detached happiness, a detached pain. But that pain, that happiness, that experience has to be gone through here in this janma. Till that happens, the body doesn't fall. The body falls when the prarabdha that's been issued to the body is exhausted. Therefore, there's no more need for this body in this form. The body falls. Prarabdham tu iha bhujyatam. May that prarabdha be experienced. For a person seeing from outside, from the vyavahara point of view, feels, oh my God, my guru has to go through so much pain. It's very strong pain. Why does my guru have to go through this? But the guru sees it from a paramarthika perspective. He doesn't attach himself to them. Asangoham, 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 punah punah. Again and again, that thought is always there. And that now clearly understood by the Jnani is asanga. Satchidananda rupoham ahamevaham avyaya. I am avyaya. I have nothing to do with the body. He is already in that state. We've gone through all these steps to reach there. Then what happens? Atha, thereafter means what? After all this is done, person, the individual is no more. Although the body remains, mind remains, everything remains. The individual is no more. Śaṅkara is a enlightened Śaṅkara. Atha, brahmatmana sthiyatam. After exhausting the prarabdha karma, there's no more need for the sharira. The sthula sharira falls. The sukshma sharira goes. And karana sharira is nothing but ajnanam, which is the karanam for the sthula sukshma sharira, has already been eliminated. Therefore, there is no jivatvam left. Jivatvam really has been removed even when the person became a jivan mukta purusha. He is jivan mukta, freed of jivatvam. Does that mean that he's got ishvaratvam? Even that is gone. There is no thisness. Aham Brahmosmi. Go back to the ocean and wave example. I am neither the wave nor the ocean. I am water. Brahmosmi. With nothing. Therefore, the Jivan Mukta Purusha becomes a Videha Mukta Purusha. Attains Videha Mukti. Remember, we said Mukti can come two ways. One is by gaining Jnanam and becoming a Jivan Mukta, and then exhausting the Prarabdha Karma and becoming a Videha Mukta. The other is called Krama Mukti. By doing everything that the Vedas say you have to do to reach Brahmaloka. Not very easy. Much easier to gain Jnanam, even though it looks difficult. If you do everything that you're supposed to do to gain Brahmaloka and eventually gain Brahmaloka, there is a possibility of gaining moksha again. Only other possibility. And how will that happen? That also only by Jnanam. In that loka, Brahmaloka, Brahmaji has to teach you the same thing. After having gone through all these privations, it's a lot of effort, one reaches Brahmaloka. From there also one could come back in the next kalpa. Or one could gain the same jnanam there from Brahmaji. Doesn't look like a very good proposition to me. You have the opportunity to gain it here, now, in this Janma. Why should you go through all those things, somehow gain Brahmaloka, which may not easy to get. Even after doing all this, you may make a few errors, you may not get to Brahmaloka. You may go to some other loka and come back. And then after that, also you have to go through the same thing. Study Sādhana Pañcakaṃ there. Brahmaji has to teach you Aham Brahmosmi. That is called Krama Mukti. The Bhagavad Gita, there are a lot of verses which really can be understood with this background. Ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. That has been eliminated, no kartatvam. Tattvavittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayo. All these are things we study in the Gita. In fact, I find the Gita so good, so complete in its explanation of everything in life and everything that one needs to do to not get stuck in samsara and reach atha brahmatmana sthiyatam. So after the fall of the body, no jivatvam, no attvam at all, no nasness, one is Brahman. That realization is complete. That understanding is complete. And by having gone through all these steps, one is Brahman. Now, all of us are sadhakas. All of us can examine each one of these 40 verbs, lotlakara. Vedaha adiyatam, that karma, follow that karma. Tad uditam karma svanushthiyatam. Each of these verbs you can take. And one can examine, where am I in this journey of the sadhaka? Oh, very good. I'm already on step 24. But I think some little challenge I have in step 12 and 13. One can examine. Hey, beautifully constructed. Just 5 verses. Let's read those 5 verses one more time. Can you put it on again, Surya? And this time, try to follow the words.
Om Vedo Madhiyataṃ taduditam karma svanushtiyataṃ Teneshasya vidiyataṃ apachiti kamye matistyajyataṃ Papau hridhuyataṃ bhavasu dosho nusandhiyataṃ Atme Yavasiyataṃ nijagrihat tūnam vinirgamyatāṃ Sangasatsu vidhiyataṃ bhagavato bhaktir dridhadiyataṃ Shantyadif parichiyataṃ dridhataram karmashu santyajyataṃ Sadvidvānupasripyatāṃ pratidinam tatpadukasevyataṃ Brahmaikākṣaramartyatāṃ śrutishiro vakyam samakarnyatāṃ Vakyācha vicāryatāṃ śrutishirah pakṣas samāśrīyatāṃ Dustarkāt suviramyatāṃ śrutimatastarko nusandhiyatāṃ Brahmaivasmi vibhavyatāṃ aharahar garvah parityajyatāṃ Deheham matirujyatāṃ buddhajanaivadah parityajyatāṃ Kshudvyādishcha chikitsyataṃ pratidinam bhikshaushadam bhujyatāṃ Svadvannannatu yacyatāṃ vidivashat praptena santushyatāṃ Shītośnādi vishahyatāṃ natu vrata vakyam samuccāryatāṃ Audāsīnyamabhīpsyatāṃ janakrupa naishturyamutsrajyatāṃ Ekante sukhamasyatāṃ paratare chetas samadhiyatāṃ Purnātmā susamīkshatāṃ jagadidam tadvāditam drisyatāṃ Prakarma pravilapyatāṃ chitibalan napyuttaraishlishyataṃ Prarabdha bhujyatāṃ atapara brahmatmanasthiyataṃ Om
again, I'd like to thank Surya and Bhunaja for rendering this so beautifully. Please listen to this as often as you want and try to think of the words and see what it says. Very beautiful. Om Purnamada
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnat Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you, Swami G.
We will be starting another text, the third chapter of Panchadashi. Not next week, we'll give a little gap, but the week after. Week after will be, I think, 2nd of October.
Yes, 2nd October.
Start that. Very quickly, that Panchadashi, all 15 chapters are really independent. Each chapter takes something from one of the Upanishads and expands on it. Some prakriya is taken, some methodology is taken, and then is expanded. Very, very, very well done. In fact, I have found Vidyaranya, who is the author of that, a person who is tremendously logical. People who think they are really logical should read some of those and see, my God, the way he analyzed things, to the fine detail he's analyzed things is worth knowing. Just to see how the analysis is done itself, worth knowing. It's a relatively short chapter and is based on Taittiriya Upanishad in the first chapter itself, where it talks about the Panchakosha. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha, which cover the 5 most common errors the humans make. Very nice text. We will start this the week after the next. Same ID, same everything. We will send you a formal little note on this. If there are others who you think would be interested, please let me know. Thank you once again. I have enjoyed this journey of the sadhaka as much, and I hope all of you have enjoyed it as well. Om.
Thank you, sir. Om Hari Om Swami. Thank you. Namaskaram.
Is also